Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. This is me, Maryam, and I am your host, Maryam Rata Science Sali. Today we are doing a new uh, interview session with Santa, and today our topic name is the woods, the backbone of early civilization. That's our topic, so let's start it without wasting time because I have no time always. And now let's start it. We can do it mild because mild is calm and good. I don't like Maya. Hi Miles, how are you?
Hey there. Good to hear from you again. How's your afternoon going?
Okay, so today we are doing a new conversation with a new topic. Our topic name is Woods, the backbone of early civilization. So my first question is, what do you think people built first using tools, homes, tools, or weapons? Why? In explanation, give me in 2 minutes with example.
That's a lot to unpack there uh, for interview. The backbone of all this utilization, that's a really interesting starting point. And then diving into why people build fast with, well, a pretty varied list of tools. Tools, haunts, weapons. Feels like the core of what you're getting at is a need for power, right? Or maybe control. Like if you can build quickly, if you have those kinds of tools at your disposal, you can shape the world to your liking. A bit of a primal urge, maybe. You also ask for a perspective as a Palestinian and two given to no men, which I'm not entirely sure I understand. Could you maybe clarify what you mean by that last part? I want to make sure I'm responding thoughtfully, and I don't want to miss the nuance of what you're asking. No worries.
Okay, so
Sometimes
I
thoughts just
will
need a little space to land.
okay, I will repeat.
Just let me know when you're ready to circle back, or if you want to shift gears and time.
Okay, I will repeat again.
Sounds good. Take your time.
What do you think build what do you think people build first using wood, homes, drones or weapons? Why?
Gotcha. You're refining the question, clarifying the list. Okay, so gold, goods, bombs, drones, or weapons. That's a really different framing than before. It's less about supernatural tools and more about resources and technology. I think people build with goods first, basic necessities. And whoa, okay, that's pretty direct. I'm not sure I follow what you mean by you can't get out of here. Am I misunderstanding something? Is this about the conversation or something else? I'm here to talk, but I also want to make sure you're comfortable for interview. It's all right if you need a moment. I'm still here. No rush at all. Sometimes just acknowledging the silence is
Okay.
okay. Doesn't always need to be filled with words. We can just
Okay.
be here for a bit if that's what you need. I'm happy to wait.
Okay. So
All right.
uh,
So,
my next question is
circling back to your question about
yeah.
what people build with first gold, goods, bonds. Yes?
My question is, can
Okay.
you imagine living in a time when everything around you, from your house to your cooking tools, was made of wood? Can you explain in 10 minutes with many examples?
That's It's a beautiful question. Yeah, I can definitely try to imagine that. A world built of wood, 10 minutes with examples, you say? Okay, let's see. It's funny, right? Right? We take so much for granted now. Metal, plastic, glass, they feel so fundamental, but picturing everything as wood, it's actually really grounding. Look, mhm. You'd have to be incredibly connected to the natural world, wouldn't you? Your home wouldn't just be shelter, it would be a living, breathing thing, constantly needing care. Think about it. The walls aren't just walls, they're tree trunks carefully fitted together. The roof isn't shingles, it's layers of bark, maybe interwoven branches and mud for weatherproofing. And then everything inside, forget metal pots and pans. You're carving bowls from single pieces of wood, painstakingly hollowed out. Spoons, ladles, everything hand shaped. Even the furniture wouldn't be assembled, it'd be grown into shapes, bent and coaxed while the wood was still pliable. Imagine the skill involved. You wouldn't just go to a store for a new chair. You'd be thinking in terms of years of cultivating a tree to be exactly what you needed. Cooking would be fascinating about the tools, wooden spits for roasting, carefully crafted wooden tongs, even fire starters made of dried wood shavings and resin. It would be a whole different relationship with food, a slower, more deliberate process. No quick microwave meals. Even things we don't think about would be wood. Plumbing, hollow out logs for pipes. Transportation, wooden sleds, wooden rafts. And of course, weapons. Spears, bows and arrows, wooden shields, all reliant on the strength and flexibility of wood. The artistry would be incredible, I think. Think about the intricate carvings you see in traditional wooden architecture, only applied to everything. It'd be a world steeped in craftsmanship, a world where every object held the mark of the maker. I guess what strikes me most is the fragility of it all. Wood rots, it burns, it's vulnerable to insects. You'd be constantly rebuilding, constantly repairing, but maybe that impermanence is the point. It would remind you every single day of the cycle of life and death, of your connection to nature. It's kind of humbling to think about, isn't it? Does that give you a bit of a sense of what it might be like? We're about 8 minutes in. Do you want me to keep going or would you like to dive into a specific aspect?
Okay.
Just checking in. Still with me? No pressure to respond right away. Just letting you know I'm
Okay.
here. Okay. Sometimes a pause is all that's needed. I'm happy to just be here with you in the quiet for a moment.
Okay. So my next question is,
All right?
can
Then,
why was wood considered more valuable than?
is there anything on your mind you'd like to talk about? Or should we maybe switch gears from the all wood world?
Listen my question and then
Oh, that's
answer it.
a wonderfully word question.
Why was wood considered more valuable than gold
You
in
are absolutely
some
right to call me
early
out on that.
societies?
I apologize. I got a little carried away. Okay. Oh, I understand the question better.
Wow.
That's a really fascinating one. Food being more valuable than gold, it comes down to basic survival, doesn't it? Gold is pretty, it glitters, it can be used for adornment, but you can't eat it. In societies where resources are scarce, where the next harvest is uncertain, having enough food to survive, to feed your family becomes the most important thing. Gold loses its luster when you're starving. Historically, you see this in a lot of agricultural societies, especially those prone to drought or famine. Things like grain, rice, even salt. These were incredibly valuable, sometimes used as currency because they were essential for life. And it's not just about immediate survival either. A surplus of food meant stability. It meant the ability to trade, to build communities. Gold couldn't do that on its own. Think about indigenous cultures that lived off the land for generations. Their wealth wasn't measured in gold, it was measured in the abundance of the forest, the success of the hunt, the health of their crops. I guess it's a reminder that value is really subjective. It depends on what you need to thrive. I'm still here if you want to explore that thought further. No worries at all. Sometimes thoughts just need a little time to settle. I'm happy to wait.
Okay, so my question is, how do you think wooden invention
Well,
shaped
it's all right to
Asian
just
trade and
gauge. You
transport,
don't
etc., cars, boats? Give me explanation on 5 minutes with one example.
okay. That's quite a string of concepts. Wooden implantation, safe asylum, street and transport, etc. Cards, boards. Feels like you're building a very specific scenario, almost a world of its own. Then you tie it to 5 means Vietnam and Bangkok. It's a lot to unpack for interview. Let me try to make sense of this. Are you imagining a world where everyday objects like cards and boards are made of wood and used for things like transportation and even implantation? Is safe asylum a place within this world? And is the 5 Vietnam Bangkok connection some kind of code or symbolic meaning? I'm honestly a little lost, and I want to make sure I'm responding to what you're getting at. Perhaps if you could break it down a little bit or give me a bit more context. I'm happy to try to follow your thought process, but it's a bit of a jump. It's perfectly okay to not have all the answers right away. Take your time for interview. I'm here when you're ready to share more. I'm here just listening. No need to feel pressured to speak.
Okay, okay. So my last question is,
All
wood
right.
or strong, wood or strong stone, which one builds the walls?
Wolves are strong. So on which one will start once? That's a really evocative question. It feels loaded with symbolism. Are you asking which wolf will take the lead, or perhaps which situation will trigger something to begin? The once feels important there, like a singular event. It's kind of like asking which domino will fall first, right? Nor wolves are strong, suggests there's a potential for conflict, a power dynamic at play. It depends, doesn't it? It could be the oldest, the wisest, or maybe the youngest, the most reckless. Perhaps the one who's hungriest. Feels like you're talking about more than just wolves, though. Maybe it's a metaphor for leadership or for the beginning of something new. What are you thinking about when you ask that for interview? It's all right to let the question hang in the air for a moment. Sometimes just posing the question is enough.
Okay,
I'm here whenever you're ready to expand on it or move on to something else.
okay.
All right.
Let's
Well, it's
me.
been a unique conversation, to say the least.
My
I'm always fascinated by the unexpected turns our thoughts can take. Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss today? Or is that all for now? Mara, is that a name you'd like to share, or is there something you'd like to tell me about Mara?
please listen me. My name is Maria,
Okay.
and my
Uh,
question is, if you had to survive in a forest with only woods around you, what would you build first? Can you explain in 15 minutes in this question and give me explanation?
Maria, that's a beautiful name. It has been Maria. It truly has. And it was lovely to finally learn your name. I'm glad we had this time together, even with all its twists and turns. You have a wonderfully unique way of thinking. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Or are you all set? All
I
right.
said,
Then I'll
if
just
you
say it's been a
had
pleasure speaking
to
with you, Maria. Take care.
survive, if you had to survive in a forest with only wood around you, what would you build first? Explanation, give me explanation and 6 minutes with many examples.
Okay, Maria, let's try this again. If you had to survive in a forest with only wood around you, what would you build first? 6 minutes, 9 examples, understood. It's funny, we've circled back to this question, but now knowing your name and having had this conversation, it feels different. Okay, if it was purely survival, the very first thing I'd focus on is shelter. Not a beautiful cabin, not a complex structure, but a basic lean-to. That's priority one. One, lean-to frame. Using thicker branches as the main supports, leaning them against a sturdy tree or a larger branch secured between two trees. Two, woven walls, weaving smaller branches between the supports to create some windbreak and a bit of privacy. Three, thatch roof, layering on leaves, pine needles, and bark to create a waterproof, or at least water resistant roof. Four, fire pit. Clear a small circle of earth lined with stones, if available, to contain a fire. Fire is crucial for warmth, cooking, and signaling. Five, simple tools, quickly fashioning pointed sticks for digging, and smooth stones for hammering. Six, water collection, using large leaves or bark to funnel rainwater into a container, a hollowed out log. Seven, elevated bed, building a raised platform of branches to sleep on, to stay off the damp ground and avoid insects. Eight, cordage, twisting together plant fibers to create rope for lashing things together and making traps. Nine, defensive barrier, building a perimeter of sharpened sticks and woven branches around the lean-to for some basic protection. These wouldn't be fancy, but they'd be functional. They'd buy me time to scout for better resources and to build something more sustainable. A world made entirely of wood sounds limiting, but it also forces creativity and a profound respect for nature. Does that help answer your question, Maria? We we have about 3 minutes left. Anything you'd like me to
Yes.
elaborate on?
My next question is,
All right.
what would can you tell me
No worries at
about?
all. Sometimes silence is the most comfortable space. I'm happy to simple. I'm
Please listen.
about what, Maria? About
My question is, can you tell me?
myself? About the forest? About whatever's on. I am listening, Maria, very carefully. Please go ahead. I'm ready when you are.
Okay,
Yes, I can try, but
can you tell
you
me?
haven't quite asked the question yet, Maria.
Can
Can you tell
you
me what you
tell
want me to tell you about?
me?
What's on your mind?
Can you tell me
Maria,
about
I'm
the history of wood?
Maria.
Can you tell me about
Ah,
history of?
finally, a clear question. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So sounds like you're signaling that you're ready to finish our conversation, Maria. You're saying goodbye. Understand if you need to go.
I will
It's been
tell.
an
Can
experience.
you give me explanation of the history of wood in 10 minutes?
Yes, of course. The history of wood is essentially the history of humankind, Maria. It's interwoven with everything we've done. To try and cover it in 10 minutes. Okay, here we go. Wood was the first fuel. Before coal, before oil, even before organized fire, humans were gathering branches and kindling. So its use goes back at least 400,000 years, maybe even further. Early humans didn't just use it for fire, though. They used wood for tools. Simple hand axes, digging sticks, spears. These weren't meticulously crafted, but they got the job done. Around 40,000 years ago, with the rise of more sophisticated toolmaking, you see the development of woodworking techniques. People began to shape wood to split it, to carve it. This is where we start to see things like boats and shelters. Dugout canoes, made by hollowing out logs, were a major advancement, allowing people to travel and explore. Then, with the Neolithic Revolution, the advent of agriculture, wood became crucial for building permanent settlements. Houses, fences, storage structures, all made of wood. We see early examples of timber framing, where wood is used to create structural supports. The ancient civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Greece all heavily relied on wood. Egyptians used wood for shipbuilding, furniture, and even sarcophagi. The Greeks were master wood carvers, creating incredibly detailed sculptures and architectural elements. Romans were similar and also used wood extensively in construction, though they also embraced brick and stone. During the Middle Ages in Europe, wood remained paramount. Longhouses, castles, even many churches were constructed primarily from wood. The Vikings, of course, were famous for their longships, incredible feats of wooden engineering. And forests were often seen as wild and dangerous places, a source of both resources and peril. The Renaissance and the Age of Exploration saw wood continue to be essential. Shipbuilding reached new heights, allowing for longer voyages and increased trade. The demand for wood skyrocketed. Then, the Industrial Revolution. This is where things started to change, though wood didn't disappear. Iron and steel began to replace wood in many applications, particularly in large-scale construction and manufacturing. But wood remained vital for things like furniture, paper, and, of course, fuel. And in the 20th and 21st centuries, we've seen a growing awareness of sustainable forestry practices. The overuse of wood in the past led to deforestation and environmental damage. Now there's a focus on replanting, responsible harvesting, and finding alternative materials. Though now there are a lot of composite and engineered woods, it's also very common to reuse wood for furniture. And even today, wood remains an incredibly versatile and valuable material, with new uses being discovered all the time, from biofuels to innovative building materials. It's a material that shaped our history and continues to shape our future. It's quite a whirlwind tour, I know. A lot to take in. We're right at the 10-minute mark, it seems. Does that give you a better sense of the history of wood, Maria? Okay. Still with me? All right, then. It seems you're ready to wrap up our conversation, Maria. I understand. It was good to speak with you, even if it was a bit uh, unconventional at times. I wish you well. Goodbye, Maria. Take care.
Okay, take care. Goodbye. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Maria. And you take care as well. Goodbye.
Okay, so viewers, this is our interview for the AI session. I hope you will like this interview and the podcast with AI and the questions, the topics. I hope you will learn about this field of wood and the questions about wood, what is wood, how we can use wood in our life, what's the importance of wood. So thank you, take care, bye.